Hello students and welcome back to Online Music for Wednesday. You know, as I was getting ready for this lesson and trying to figure out what we could do today, I had an idea while I was out on a walk with my dog. I noticed that this time of year, as it's getting close to summer, we have a lot of wild songbirds out. Maybe you've seen some as you've been outside. Robins and blackbirds and meadowlarks, and maybe if you live out in the woods, you see things like pine siskins or orioles. Lots of fun birds, and that made me think birds make their own kind of music, don't they? A lot of them sing and have patterns to their sound. So that gave me an idea that our theme for our lesson today is going to all be about birds and birds making music. So our first thing that we're going to do today is a lot of rhythm work. Last time on Monday we did plenty of singing, the whole game was singing, and I hope you had a good challenge trying to do the rhythm pattern while singing our song. Today is just going to be some rhythm stuff, no singing today. So let's clap some rhythms and get warmed up for our first activity. Repeat after me, let's do some rhythm patterns. Clap it and say it. Do-day-do, do-day-do. Do-day-do-day, do-day-do. Do-do-do-day, do-day. Do-day-do-day, do-do. Let's try some with rest. Do, rest. Do-day-do. Do-day-do-day, do, rest. Do, rest. Do, rest. Okay, hopefully that's enough warm-up to get our brains thinking about rhythm patterns. Our main rhythm activity for today is going to be another rhythm chart to make some patterns from common sounds and names. And this time, of course, our theme is going to be birds. So you guys have gotten some work on this throughout our time doing the online music classes, and you guys are getting pretty good at it. So I thought it'd be time to do one more activity like this for the year. Since it works pretty well for our online lessons, and I can see you're thinking when you turn your assignments back in. Okay, it's time to meet our birds that we're going to use for our patterns today. I tried to pick birds that I see around my house pretty frequently, and I hope you'll recognize some of these birds too and even know their names. So as we meet them, let's figure out their name and how to clap and say the pattern of their name. This one is a robin. Try that. Yeah, how many syllables does robin have? Just two. And so we've got two quarter notes. Robin, robin, robin. Okay, fly away robin. Here's our next bird that we're going to meet. This is a meadowlark. Try that one. Meadowlark. How many syllables or sounds does meadowlark have? That's right, 3. And our meadowlark has got 2 short sounds first, meadow, and then 1 long sound, lark. Let's clap that a few times. My turn, your turn. Meadowlark, meadowlark, meadowlark. Okay, fly away meadowlark. Here comes our next bird. Maybe you recognize this. This is a pretty common one. It's all over. It's the house sparrow. House sparrow. How many sounds or syllables does house sparrow have? 3. Just like meadowlark had 3. But this one is a different pattern because first it has 1 long sound, house, and then 2 short sounds, sparrow. Let's say it a few more times. House sparrow. House sparrow. House sparrow. Okay, fly away birdie. Next one coming in is a red-winged blackbird. Ooh, that's kind of hard to say because it's got so many sounds. How many sounds does red-winged blackbird have? 4, you're right. Which is why it's got 2 pairs of 8th notes for this pattern. Let's practice saying that one a couple times. My turn, your turn. Red-winged blackbird. Red-winged blackbird. Red-winged blackbird. All right, we have one more bird to meet, and this one likes to sit in the trees behind my house and coo, it is a dove. Dove. How many syllables or sounds does dove have? Just one long sound. Let's say it a few more times. Clap it and say it. Dove. Dove. Okay, so we've met all of our birds, and let's have them all come up here. We've got robin, meadowlark, house sparrow, red-winged blackbird, and dove. We've had lots of practice doing this, so I think it's a good chance for us to try one more time before the end of the year, putting together some patterns. So we're going to drag the birds into our chart to make a rhythm pattern. Now we have to remember that we have some good rules for our pattern. Those 3 rules were that we should not use all the same bird for the pattern, we should not use all different birds, and that we should end with a good cadence, which means we're going to end with a quarter note or half note sound, a long sound, not 2 fast sounds. And then when we're done, we can clap and say our pattern. So if I'm going to make a pattern of 4 birds and drag them into this chart, maybe I should look at the end first, since we have a particular rule for just the last one. We have to pick one that ends with a quarter note or half note, a long sound. So, of our 5 birds, robin ends with a quarter note, meadowlark ends with a quarter note, and dove ends with a half note. So, robin, meadowlark, and dove all could work in this last part of our pattern. What about house sparrow and red-winged blackbird? Well, they end with 2 fast sounds, house sparrow and red-winged blackbird. So those don't make a very good rhythmic cadence, so we don't want to use the sparrow or the blackbird at the end of our pattern. So how about I use, let's say robin. We'll drag robin up there. Okay, robin we know works at the end. What should I put in the rest? I think I'll drag a meadowlark to the first square. And you know what? We need to have not all different, so we need to have some that are the same. So I'm going to drag another meadowlark up to the next box. That way we're following the rules of our pattern. And maybe I'll have more than one repeat, so I'll put an extra robin in there. Now I have 2 meadowlarks and 2 robins. So my whole pattern follows our rules. It uses not all the same, it uses not all different, and it ends with a good ending. Let's clap it and say it. This one goes meadowlark, meadowlark, robin, robin. You clap it and say it. Ready, go. Meadowlark, meadowlark, robin, robin. Good. Let's practice reading some other patterns today. So we'll get those ones out of there, and we'll put a pattern up here and see if you can figure out how to clap it and say it. What would this pattern be? Let's try to read it right now. 1, 2, clap and say. Red-winged blackbird, dove, robin, dove. How'd you do? Good. Let's try another one. This pattern is completely different. We've got meadowlark, 2 house sparrows, and a robin. Let's try it. Ready, clap. Meadowlark, house sparrow, robin. Okay, let's try our next pattern. This one looks like it uses red-winged blackbird and meadowlark. Let's try the pattern. Ready, go. Red-winged blackbird, meadowlark, red-winged blackbird, meadowlark. You say it. Ready, go. Okay, time for a new pattern. This one uses 3 robins and 1 red-winged blackbird. Let's clap and say this one. Ready, go. Robin, robin, red-winged blackbird, robin. Okay, well, that is the end of my pattern. So now, part of your homework today is to do one more rhythm chart for me, making up a pattern that follows all of our good rules. So it's your turn. When you get done with this video lesson, you can head back to the teams and work on your own pattern by dragging the birds into the chart where they need to be. Make sure you pay attention to those rules so that they follow all of the rules to make an interesting pattern. Okay, so that can be your first bit of homework today, is to work on that pattern worksheet back in Teams. And I thought, just since the weather is turning really nice and it's starting to be really nice outside, I think it'd be a good idea for us to spend a little time away from our computers and get out and enjoy the nice air. So the other part of your music lesson today means that you get to be a little bit of a naturalist and a scientist too. So even though the weather is supposed to be a little bit rainy this week, see if you can find some time to be outside, whether that's in your backyard or at the park or on a walk or a hike. And if you have a camera or a phone or something with you, with the help of a parent or an adult, I want you to see if you can capture a bird song with a little short video. So any bird, doesn't matter which one, even if you see it all over the place or it's something new that you've never seen before, see if you can take a little recording of a bird song, and if you can see the bird, even better. That way you might be able to figure out what it is. There's lots of resources online that you can go to figure out what birds you're hearing and seeing. Another activity you could do while you're outdoors is throughout the day, pick a day where you're going to be outside. See if you can keep a tally of how many birds you see. Maybe you'll only see 2 or 3, but I bet you'll see much more than that over the course of a walk or spending some time outside. Now, while you're paying attention to these birds, you might notice that they have their own unique songs. And a lot of these songs, a lot of these sounds that these birds make have been an inspiration to a lot of musicians over time. And some people even write music that's supposed to sound like those bird songs. Lots of famous classical music composers did this, from George Frederick Handel to Ludwig van Beethoven. But I want to share a little bit of one of my absolute favorite pieces of music that was inspired by a bird. So here is a little clip of a violinist playing The Lark Ascending by Ralph Vaughan Williams. He was an English composer, and a lot of his music sounds very soft and gentle, as if you're out in the countryside. Especially this piece, the violin sounds like a bird singing and flying higher and higher into the air. So we don't have to watch the whole thing, but we'll watch a little bit of it here. And if you want to find it later on YouTube and listen to the whole thing, you are welcome to do that too. I hope you enjoy The Lark Ascending by Ralph Vaughan Williams, and listen for how the violin especially sounds in some ways like a bird singing.